Hello, everyone. Got another match here. Amelie versus GoEJVa. This was part of the tournament on 12:30. During this cast, I'm going to focus on Amelie. Amelie is one of the top players here and see if I can gain any knowledge from his build and also getting ready for the next tournament to see if I can figure out any way to disrupt him. So, Amelie, standard start. First engineer off to capture the metal, starting another assembly. Building a second engineer who's then going to capture the metal right around. I normally play PHC, so I'm not too great with the names of the units. All right, so first assembly up, second assembly under construction, sending out I believe those are martyrs, out to start expanding. Expanding pretty quickly. Let's see, we got one engineer, two engineers building, capturing the gas. I'm fast forwarding through the beginning here. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. I'll slow down when we start having some impact. So we're up to four engineers. Sorry, three engineers. Expanding pretty quickly here. I'll start slow down a little bit at this point. So we've got one, two, three assemblies. These two are pumping out martyrs, and we kind of see how he's grouped his units together. Squads of looks like two different groups, so six martyrs or two groups of martyrs to capture around the back, pushing out that way, and then off to the right. Massing martyrs to push off to the right as well. Expanding really quickly. Let's see, take a quick peek at GoEJVa and see sort of how he's expanding. So PhD player, he's also pushing to expand quickly. Group of brutes, archer, and then a medic to keep those units pushing. Got one group pushing up top to the right, and then another group pushing off left. And he's also capturing the back as well. He does have the Sky Factory up, three armories, and is starting to push down the center. You can see the military strength looks like GoEJVa is ahead of Amelie at this point. We'll see how long that's consistent for. So let's look what was Amelie doing while we looked away there. So we still have the three assemblies. In the back here, we see two Averys. Averys are the air unit. He's going to be able to start pumping out sort of that deadly substrate cluster of air rampagers. And then over on the right here, we see the gateway go up, which is required for the unlocks the air rampagers. And then we see quantum archives going up as well. So we got one, two, three. We've got one engineer, and we see one air rampager is up. Let's follow that guy and see where he sends them. Again, no conflict between the two groups of units yet, or between GoEJVa and Amelie. Just sort of the initial capturing around. Okay, so we got the air rampager. He looks like he's using that to start clearing units for his group of martyrs. Sizable army. Up in the front, we got one drone hive, a mauler, and then some Avengers, it looks like, or two maulers, a group of Avengers. And then the air rampagers. So we got one here, and then we've got another one he's using to harass back here. It gets cleaned up pretty quickly. Oh, and we also saw a harass drop of the saboteurs behind enemy lines there to disrupt GoEJVa's flow. So we got one clump of units here capturing the unit. This is tough. These big maps, you can get multiple fronts going at the same time. And so we see Amelie's style here. He's got the building the air rampagers, which are also useful for harassing. He's taken one air rampager. I see this big group is going to use to escort here. And the saboteurs, he's cut off some of the a large swath actually. And it hasn't cut off because GoEJVa has this point here to recover, but cuts off here. We can see he's ignoring this point. Ignoring this point and going straight after the radioactives. Now the radioactives are what important for the tier 2 units, so you can sort of see a strategy coming here. He's very quickly, I guess, trying to debilitate GoEJVa's economy by targeting the rad. So while metal income will stay up, if he can capture this, and he's already taken out this radioactive income, then we look over here at GoEJVa's radioactive income, we see 23 to 32 for rads. So this puts GoEJVa in a very poor position in terms of building and ramping up his economy. GoEJVa is able to respond and counter and pushes back the group of units here. Um, looks like he's added some fortifications at the middle over here. He's got a drone bay up, interesting choice, and is fortifying that point there. Another large clump of units for Amelie popping up there. And we can see with the Tyrannium now, 3-1, so he's accruing Tyrannium points. Skimming back here, looking at the base, we still have the 3 assemblies, originally the 2 Averys that were back there, and then in addition, oh wow, big manufacturing push up here. We've got 5 more assemblies, and then the advanced assembly used to build dreadnoughts. We look at economically wise, we got 69 metal, 21 rads for GoEJVa, 68, 62 to 32 for Amelie. So Amelie ahead in the rad income, and the rad income again is what's really important. So is the skirmishing's going on here. We have this massive Fury army necessary for PHC to respond to the sub-air, and he's going to use that to try and clear out this. That ground unit cover is not going to be enough to delay or push back that unit. We'll slow down a little bit here as things are starting to evolve pretty quickly. So we've got this big unit pushing here, and then if we scroll over here to the map here, we saw Amelie pushed out and was doing some harass here, forcing GoEJVa to respond. This big unit, this big crush of units, I think is particularly difficult. GoEJVa does not have really much in the way to respond. His units are out of position, this clump here, and that clump's not large enough. And then within the base itself, I'm not seeing a lot of base defenses. Trying to see if there's other pockets of units anywhere. No, and we can see as we're scrolling around, Amelie is continuing to use those saboteurs as a harassment. Lots of quanta income. We look at, where can I see quanta? Amelie's, okay, Amelie's at +3 quanta. To GoEJVa's 2.25, so they're close. Interesting that it's, or it was there for a moment, metals that's slowing down Amelie and sort of bottlenecking his economy, not rads. He's got about 1,800 built up in rads that are unused. But at this point, GoEJVa is in a very difficult position. This massive group of units pushing in right down to his base. He's got a lot of Furies, but those Furies are going to do nothing against this big chunk of units. This is a really tough thing as a PhD player, and I've definitely fallen into this trap myself, is against the top level substrate players are going to build the air groups. And the difficult thing is if when you overcommit, right? So just how much resources you have to spend to build those Furies, you sort of end up leaving yourself vulnerable against a mass ground unit attack like this. So we see that's exactly what happened. GoEJVa is winning the air battle, but by winning the air battle, he's redirected his focus and resources to building a lot of Furies, and his ground defenses have taken a hit as a response. So really the two things you see happen here is one, Amelie did a good job at the beginning of the game of harassing and is cutting off those radioactive incomes, and you can see he's continuing to do that, which is sort of a death by a million cuts as GoEJVa is having to respond to the saboteurs. Dropped here, and then it looks like he just did another drop here, which is just throwing his economy off balance. And then while his economy is off balance, focusing on building those anti-air, which is then not effective against the mass ground units then that we see rolling in. Amelie is very, very good, very, very aggressive, and very, very quick on this. So I'm not sure exactly I saw a weakness to exploit there. And then we're going to go into the graphs here. So just a quick look. We see the metal income fairly close. GoEJVa was ahead for a bit. I think the radioactive, though, you see this is where things start pulling out, where you can see the effects of his harasses, right? So Amelie drops, he loses rad income there, he has to recapture, drops another saboteur, and then has to recapture. All right, well, overall, I think good match. Stick around, catch the next one. All right, catch you later, guys.